Now, for you guys who want to, I'm going to put the link to the personality test on our Facebook page when I release this episode. But if you want to, just go to www.16personalities.com, Personalities. Go ahead and type that into your little search engine. If you're on your phone, I'm sure you can still do it while you're listening to us, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to waste some time so you can do that. I assume it's in there and you searched it and now the website pulled up. We're going to take the test, and just to verify, I think we figured this out last time, but we're just going to double check right now to make sure that our answers are matching up our questions are matching up. Like, you regularly make new friends.
Yep.
This one? Okay, cool.
That's my first one.
So, there agree, disagrees. I don't know how many questions there are. I don't know how long this is going to take. We're going to go through this, and we're going to go through this together, so you guys play along with us. Share it with us what your results are. We'll share our results at the end of this, so you have them. But when I post the release of the show on the Facebook, just leave a comment. Let us know what kind of personality you are, and if you seem like a fun type of person, we'll give a shit.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we just want to do like the other ones. We'll just read the questions back and forth, and then
sure.
Okay, cool. So I'll read the first one. You regularly make new friends. So here's the thing. I do make friends pretty easy, but for some reason I just don't have the interest in making new friends. Like if somebody pops up in my life, like if we're doing this podcast stuff, it's like, oh, hey, what's up and everything. Interview them, get to know them, seem like they're cool people. Night Mage, Super Casey, Kitsukami, my Sophie when she shows up. Great people. Are they considered friends? I'm not sure. I guess there's potential. But realistically, like outside of like meeting people at work and getting to know people at work, it comes fairly easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a situation that you're in and, adapt or die. So regularly make new friends. I wish they kind of like list them. So obviously the farther we go over, the more degree is. So,
right.
So for those of you, obviously see there's 3 agrees to the right, 3 disagrees to the, 3 disagrees to the right, 3 agrees to the left, 1 in the middle. I'm going to go, disagree, I'm going to go second disagree.
Second from the middle disagree.
The middle disagree, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, so from the middle, we'll go 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. I'm the exact opposite. And I feel like pre-COVID it was a lot easier. So I haven't made friends regularly in a while is how I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, I go and I work at the food pantry and I chat with people and we're friendly by the end of it. And, maybe we're not friends today, but after a couple of weeks, I feel like I'm more than friendly and could be invited places with people.
Yeah.
So I'm going sort of the opposite side, the second degree.
Yeah. Now, I guess that does kind of show in like the professions and stuff you do. Because obviously, like your whole job focus is to be in front of people, where mine is more like I like being left alone in the background of just doing shit.
Yeah.
So
I would lose my mind doing your job, I think.
You know what? And here's the thing: is like from what people say, I'm not gonna brag about myself and say it's true or not. But from what people say, is like I'm a very good public speaker.
Yeah,
I'm very good at talking to people. I just don't like doing it. It's just like I will talk to who I need to talk to. If I'm out having fun, probably a horrible example, but if I'm drunk, I'm more of a social butterfly than anything. But as I got older in life, like when I was younger, like early 20s, I think I was more like my mom, a very social, outgoing person. But as I got older, now into my mid 30s, I get why my dad likes to be left alone. Like I went from like a Ryan Reynolds to like a fucking Clint Eastwood in a matter of like 9 years. So, yeah, but I get the importance of both. I would never ignore or shun somebody who comes up and talks to me. I will give them a moment to communicate.
Oh, for sure.
But they got to move on.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Next question.
You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. I gotta go strongly agree. The highest level of agree for that, especially, with my job. I feel like I'm working from home a lot. I'm trying to, keep my spirits up and, I want to make sure my cup is full so I can pour it out. You know what I'm saying? So I am pursuing my various interests and random topics all the time. And I love it.
Okay. This is going to be the same answer for me as the first one. I'm going to go, 2 to the right. I will, like, if something comes up on, like, Google, like, news or some shit like that, like something new and different, I may read an article about it, but there's not a whole lot of, chance that I'm going to actually, like, deep dive into it. Like, very rare. It's very rare if I do anything. I mean, like, honestly, like, the most research and shit I've ever done in my life either relates to a job I'm currently doing or, the cemetery vlogs. The list of cemeteries we're going to do. That's probably the most, like, in-depth, like, information and research I did, for Indiana haunted cemeteries. But, like, it's not a common thing for me. Just because I wish it piqued my interest. I hate the fact that it's disagree, but again, it's just like if I don't see it as the utmost importance, I don't give it a lot of time.
Gotcha. That's fair.
Yeah. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. All right, so this is hard for me. I don't know. I think my results for this personality test is gonna show like I'm some kind of fucking monster. So. Okay, so for this one, I have to go in the middle. As much as I want to avoid doing middle, I really want to agree, disagree. The thing is if I watch a video of somebody crying, it will hit me. Like, it'll affect me.
Mm-hmm.
But to see people cry in person makes me so uncomfortable. Like, it's not my first focus isn't to cry along with them. It's to try to get them to stop doing it.
Gotcha.
So it's like I don't know what that says about me. I don't know if that means I'm an asshole or not, but it's like when people are crying, like funerals are a little bit different. Like
right.
I can be around people who cry at funerals. I don't really cry because they're crying. Like I cry for my own personal reasons.
Right.
But like if I'm watching a video of like a soldier coming home, some kid asking like their stepdad to adopt them, shit like that. That makes me tear up when the other people are kind of getting teary-eyed. Like, that affects me.
Sure.
But in person, like, if a friend that comes up to me at a bar saying their significant other dumped them and they start getting teary-eyed, like, it just makes me more uncomfortable, the fact that they're crying right now. Like, probably in a non-crying, acceptable environment. It just makes me more uncomfortable. So...
Gotcha.
Yeah, so as much as I want to avoid the neutral answer, this one I have to because I hit both. So
yeah. So I guess I'm going with slightly agree.
Okay.
Just the first agree. Because like I can be very emotional, and it depends on like the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, like weddings, for example, I love to cry at weddings because they make me so happy,
Yeah.
But like and I guess it does say it make you feel like you want to cry. One of the things that I am really deeply proud of is that if I am performing the ceremony, I don't cry at all. My eyes might get misty, but like I can hold it together. But yeah, I seeing other people cry, seeing people happy, seeing people sad. I'm a really empathetic person. And so it's just like, yeah, I'm feeling what you're feeling. We can make it through this together. But I'm also a problem solver. So I hear where you're coming from totally. And so it's like, well, what are you crying about? How can we, do you just need to cry? Cool. But like, if you want a solution, we can work on that too. So I'm just slightly agree.
Next one's you, buddy.
You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. I'm going strongly agree. I hope that I don't just strongly agree with all the ones I read, but yeah, and it's I think one of the reasons that I have so much trouble getting things done a lot of times is that I will make multiple backup plans just in case. Like I'm very good at planning for all contingencies. And part of it is like I had so many people in my life growing up who thought they were really good at that and were fucking garbage at it because they could never think of what would actually go wrong. They would think of things that like would bother them if they went wrong. But like the thing that actually goes wrong has nothing to do with them one way or the other. And so they just don't plan for it. And so like I've always like, because of that, felt like I have to plan for everything because nobody else does. Which is definitely a me problem and I should bring it up in therapy. But yeah, anyway, I strongly agree.
Okay. I'm gonna go slightly agree, one to the left on this one, just because of the word often. If I mean, obviously I prioritize everything in my life. If there's something of like the absolute utmost, absolutely necessary, the most important thing ever, if I need to have a backup plan for it, then I'll do it. The smaller things, like if, like, because I want to, because I'm going to think of this as all like plans for everything.
Right.
Like this is everything from, making sure I go get a growth looked at the doctor's and they reschedule the appointment to a friend canceling, on me getting a beer later, like this afternoon.
Right.
All plans. The utmost important stuff, the health stuff, the work stuff, the family stuff, the priorities and stuff. Absolutely. Okay, if this doesn't work, this is what we gotta do instead. The smaller things like, all right, lawnmower's not running. Okay, whatever. Not mowing the lawn today.
Right.
So yeah, so I'll agree that I do, plan backup plans, but I also, I rank the importance of things I do in order to develop a backup plan for it. Otherwise, it's just like, it doesn't happen. We'll figure something out later. Fuck it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And it's only because they use the word often. If they said sometimes, then, probably more of a stronger agree. But because they said often, just a little bit agree.
Yep.
Usually stay calm, even under a lot of pressure. As much as I pride myself, I'm gonna go disagree one to the right. So
really,
I'm gonna go kind of disagree. So as much as I, you know what? That's a lie. I'm gonna go agree one to the left. So there are times where I will get frustrated to the point where I get completely pissed for like the dumbest things. Perfect example. I was at work yesterday and I was doing some dumps and stuff, just emptying out fucking like old like bottles and stuff to be washed and everything. And I kept bumping into this garbage can that I put there, by the way.
Oh man, nothing pisses me off more.
Right? So I just kept bumping into it and I kept thinking to myself, like, why am I so fucking constricted right here?
I put this here for my convenience. Why the fuck is it in my way?
Yeah, exactly. So I just kept bumping until I fucking shoved it out of the way. And it was on rails, so rolled away and everything. So I guess I could have easily just moved it out of the way, stayed calm, but because I kept bumping into it, and the fact that yesterday there was a heat index of like 112, and I was wearing an FRC, and I was sweating, and this is like into the 10th hour of a 12-hour shift. Like, I'm just like, fuck this. So I shoved it out of the way. So, usually, yes, calm. I do stay calm for the most part because I don't allow shit to really affect me as much as as much as most people would nowadays.
Yeah.
Obviously the big things will affect me. I will. But usually I'm just like, you know what, whatever. Don't care. Yeah. Fuck it. It is what it is. Move on. But there's those moments when and it's just the situation. Listen, if this was like the second hour of my shift, maybe if it was 112 fucking degree heat index, maybe if I wasn't in an FRC, but all that shit all together, like it was already just a frustrating fucking day. It was already just miserable. I just wanted to be done. I shouldn't have been there to begin with because I should have been done last week. But, yeah, so just a cluster. So I'm going to go, agree one to the left.
Nice. I'm going disagree two to the right.
Okay.
The weird thing is like under pressure, I am cool as a cucumber. For things that actually matter, I am very good in a crisis.
Gotcha.
But for little things, oh man, can I work myself up for like no reason. So like the example I'm thinking of is driving back home from picking up Maddie from the train the other day. She was telling me how there was only one vegetarian option for lunch in the whole hospital. It was a grilled cheese sandwich. And like they have like I don't know how often you've been in a hospital lately. Especially here in big cities, like hospitals are so diverse with their staffs. They've got, Indian people and Muslims and Jewish people and all of these different groups of people. And on top of that, they have vegetarians and vegans. Why on earth would your cafeteria not have the ability to make accommodations for them so they can eat a fucking lunch? There should be more than one option, and it shouldn't be a grilled cheese sandwich. Not that I have anything against a grilled cheese sandwich. And I used to work at the same hospital. They make a great grilled cheese sandwich. But like, there should be a vegetarian soup. There should be a salad that people can eat. And I seriously, by the time we were about halfway home, I was yelling, like, what are these people fucking thinking about when they decide these menus?
Right. Well, no,
so I don't know. I don't stay calm. But you know what? I used to bottle stuff up. And it was so unhealthy, and now I'm just like, nope, I'm letting it all out as fast as I can.
You see, and I think that's the opposite for me. I think I just kept letting shit out my whole life that I'm just kind of like the bottle needs a refill.
Yeah.
So so it's like, I mean, like for you, somebody left the cap on, shook the fucking bottle up, and then released the cap. I think for me, like, it was more like a champagne bottle and a victory, pop the cork, fucking shake it up, let it go. Mm-hmm. But no, you're right. It makes a salad isn't a hard thing to make as something to sell in a cafeteria. Right. And if you could correct me on this because you know better than I do, even though I should know. If the only vegetarian option was a grilled cheese sandwich, then does that mean there was no option whatsoever for a vegan? Because vegans can't eat dairy, right? They won't eat cheese. So like there was no vegan option whatsoever.
Yep. Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's fucking goofy. It's salad isn't
maybe some French fries, but like that's not a meal. French fries isn't lunch.
No. Well, I guess it kind of depends on what oil you use, right?
Yeah, I think they use. No, they probably wouldn't use peanut. It's probably canola.
Okay. So some vegan, their only option for a meal is eating fried food.
Right. And I don't know. When I was working there, they were like touting they were trying to have like healthy options for lunch, and it's just like, okay, so now all I can have is French fries. Cool, neat. As if I were a vegan. Anyway, I'm getting mad about it now, and it's been like 4 days.
This right here, what you just described is the perfect example for our segment for next year.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Segment. Yeah.
Yes.
Do better hospitals.
Yep.
Your turn.
At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to ones you already know. Gosh, that's tough. Because I feel like I do mostly talk to ones I already know, but I also mostly am only going to social events where I know everybody. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put it on second degree, the middle one, just regular old degree. Yeah, I don't know. I do try to introduce myself to new people at social events if I don't know people, but
yeah, it's one of the things. I mean, like it's like how broad do you consider social events? Like we're going to C2E2. Obviously we're going to spend a lot of time talking to people we don't know because we got to push and plug CarterComics.com as well as our stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I just realized I may slightly agree because I misread the question as I was answering it, but yeah. Anyway.
So one to the left.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I mean, a social event could be some kind of business related thing where the whole reason to be there is networking. But I guess in a way, that's kind of like a forced way of doing it. I think this I guess considered more of like you personally in like maybe a festival kind of environment.
Right.
Kind of like, yeah. So I'm going to go strongly agree all the way to the left. Just from what I said earlier, it's like I don't go out of my way to make new friends. I will talk to somebody if they come up to me, but it's not like I go to, I mean, if I'm going out to a festival, a concert with a group of friends, I'm there to be with my group of friends.
Right.
I'm not there to, try to, meet new people in the middle of a band set or anything like that. Or if I'm going to in line to grab a beer, I'm not trying to make friends for some people in the fucking beer line. It's just not, no, I'll interact with somebody if they say something, but no, my whole thing is like, I got my group of friends and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hey, we're 10% done. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was just noticing that.
All right, maybe we'll go a little bit quicker here then. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. I'm going to go disagree 2 to the right just because there's a bunch of things I need to get done that I haven't started, but there are easier things I could have started to get done sooner. So
Totally same. If there's something that comes up, something comes up, and I like the flexibility.
Gotcha.
You are very sentimental. Oh, yeah, I am very sentimental. Gosh, I think I still have like a stuffed animal I was gifted as a baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2 to the left. Not so much physical items, but like I do reminisce a lot about memories and stuff like that. And I keep a lot of like memories of like grandparents and when we were kids growing up and stuff. Just keeping that shit. I just constantly think about it, like almost on a daily basis, really.
Absolutely.
You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. I'm gonna go disagree to the right. Outside of work or pre-planning for podcast stuff, I really don't schedule much shit, or do I really kind of follow one?
Yeah. I went 3 to the right, with the organizing tools. I hate being organized. It's just not who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm. Free spirit Joe.
Yep. So I like the idea. I wish I were organized, but that doesn't work. So
I wish my life could work in the way that a schedule would benefit me. It just really doesn't. Like, I mean, I know people who can sit there and put every single thing down on a fucking calendar. Like, this is at 8:05, but it needs to be done by 9:15 because I got to do this at 10:20. Blah blah bullshit. No, it's just like, oh yeah, dentist appointment. Okay, let me throw it on my phone. And then I don't remember it happens until I get the notification the day before. Because I don't look at my calendar on a daily basis. I just wait for the fucking notification to go up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. No. Hard disagree. There was a time when I think that was the case for me, but although I'm not as confident as I was as like a teenager, it was like, back then it was like the brazen confidence, right? Like I know I can just do this. But it was like it was a paper tiger, right? Like I felt very confident, but if anything fucked up, I was like, oh shit, I don't know anything. Someone take over. Now I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'm gonna hang back because I know I can handle it, but like,
Yeah, I'm going 2 to the left on agree. If something happens, like something bad, and I think I've talked about this before. I think we went into long detail about this. You've said it. I don't put a lot of confidence in myself. I don't really give myself the credit that I'm due.
Yeah.
So huge mistakes definitely affect me really bad. Small mistakes are just kind of like, oh, well, of course this is fucked up. You did it kind of thing. So yeah, small mistakes do, like, it doesn't depress me. It doesn't like put me into a rage. I'm just like, oh yeah, of course I fucked that up because why would I do anything right kind of thing. Oh, yeah. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone to find interesting and you find it interesting and striking up a conversation. 100%, no way. Disagree all the way to the right. I don't go up and talk to people. Even if I find somebody cute and I'm like out at a bar, I may buy them a drink first, send it that's from me, and see if they have any interest in coming over and talking. But I don't see myself just randomly walking up to somebody and saying, hey, my name's Travis. Would you like to have a conversation to find some common interest? No, not me. No.
Yep. This is something I feel like I used to do a lot better. And I don't know why I've lost it. I'm going to go right in the middle for this one. Okay. I aspire to be that comfortable. And I used to be that comfortable, but now I just haven't, I've lost it. So.
Gotcha.
You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works. Oh, hard disagree. I love discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works.
I'm going to go in the middle of agree. I'll listen if somebody wants to talk about a hobby or something they're passionate about. Obviously, we do interviews here on the show, but this way, I will go to a museum and admire the art. I can't sit in front of one thing for 20 minutes and talk about how it makes me feel. Like I'll respect the work that goes into it. I'll admire the effort that people put into their paintings and sculptures and stuff. But I can't sit there and talk about the difference and, the style and, what the artist was trying to get out of this. And that's just
he painted the curtains blue because he was depressed. And it's like, well, no, he painted them because they were fucking blue.
Yeah. Well, you wonder why they're blue? Because he ran out of fucking beige.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like, so I'll take an interest in what people do, because people's hobbies, their creations, it all fascinates me to an extent.
Yeah.
I think more like if I know somebody personally, I can spend more time talking about their creative works. But I mean, like, I think I'd have more interest. And if you told me, hey, you know what? I just fucking distilled my first fucking whiskey. I'd rather talk more about that than anything Picasso or Leonardo fucking did. Like, hey, cool, you painted a Mona Lisa. Oh, look, Sistine Chapel. Whatever. Don't give a fuck. Fucking someone I know just made fucking whiskey. So.
Nice.
You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. Yes, I middle of agree. I think I try to follow more logic than what I feel is right. I think my work history has proven that. I just think, like, for me, again, I think I say it a lot on this show in my head, or what I think is, I'd rather follow logic than feeling, because I think that, obviously your heart wants what it wants, but I think a lot of times it just drags you down a road of, like, doubt. Not doubt, I'm gonna go with doubt because I can't think of what else it was. But yes.
Gotcha.
So agree.
I'm going slightly disagree. I think there was a time when I would follow my head more than my heart, but now I'm just like, the world is falling apart. I'm going to do things that make me happy.
Yeah. I got you. Hope. I meant hope, not doubt.
Yeah. Those are like the opposite.
Exact opposite, yeah. You're hoping that it'll work out, but deep down. Yeah. And relationships the same way. It's like in my head, like I can spend a lot of time thinking, like, damn, should I fucking text, my ex-girlfriend back that I haven't talked to in a couple years just to see how she's doing? My heart says yes. My head is like, she doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Or else she would have reached out to you already. So
yeah, I'm the opposite. I try to overthink and talk myself out of stuff, and it's just like stop it. Just do it. Yeah. Just do the thing.
Maybe if I get drunk enough. I'll fucking send her a text one day.
Yeah. You usually, hey, this is, sorry, very funny to me. Speaking of talking myself out of stuff or into stuff, you usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. Yep.
Yeah, I have to agree. I don't plan shit. It's just like if I want to go do something, I go do it. So yeah, yep. I'm gonna go one to the left though. Like it's not like I feel like doing it. It's just like, might as well just go do it. I got nothing else better to do.
I'm going two to the left because I would like, it'd be nice to have a daily routine, but I'm just not in a place where I have that right now, and I'm fine with it.
You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. I agree. I'm gonna go two to the left. I mean, I always hope that I leave a good impression, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't affect my life for the long term, I really don't give a shit what people think of me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been kind of proof positive on doing podcasting and shit. I say a lot of stupid things, and a lot of people can't decipher between being Travis and being Travis T.
Yep.
You know, they can't decipher between the person and character, which, hey, you know, it's whatever. Those who know me understand. But I mean, if it's not a long-term, like, you know, purpose, if it's not work-related, like a client or something like that, I really don't care how they feel about me, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to lose sleep over them not wanting to talk to me anymore. So.
Yep. I'm on the exact opposite side. I'm two to the right. But it's because as a pastor, I am always worrying about whether or not I made a good impression on people, because I'm a representative for the church, which most people hate, it seems like these days, or have had a bad experience with. And so I feel like I've got to I have to present, a palatable version of a Christian. And also I have to it's not that I want to be somebody that everybody likes. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I don't want to push people away because I want them to come to my church. You know? So it matters. It matters that I make a good impression. So.
Yeah. I get it.
You enjoy participating in group activities. I have not had a good group activity in so long that I'm going to put a strongly agree.
I'm gonna go disagree. Two to the right. I'm gonna go middle. I'm gonna go middle disagree, just because every time I think of group activities, I think of like trust falls and shit.
Oh yeah,
and
I love a good trust fall.
Like I have no problem, like, you know, going to grab a beer with, like, you know, like a couple friends and shit, like on a Thursday night. But I don't need to go out with somebody every single night and stuff like that. So when I think participating in group activities, I'm thinking like group work, group outings, you know, like, no, like, no, I'll do one. I'll go one disagree, because maybe I think I do enjoy going out more in groups than I think I do, but it's not like a necessity to do every single day.
Yeah, I hate doing things alone. I would love it if I had even just like one person who wanted to go do things with me during the day.
Yeah. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. Yes, actually. I'm going to go strong. This is my first strongly agree. Strongly agree. All the way to the left, because I do like what would happen if this was to happen instead.
Right. Yeah, I'm also doing a strong agree. So. Okay. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. I'm going to strong agree again.
Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. I'm going to go, fucking A. Yeah, it's going to be selfish. I'm going to go one disagree. I think I create my own happiness. I don't get that warm, fuzzy feeling from helping other people do other things. Sometimes I do. Like if somebody's car gets stalled out in the middle of like a flooded road, I push it out. It makes me feel good that I did it.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel good because I chose to do it. It didn't make me feel good because his car is out of the way.
Right.
So I'm not happy because what he got out of it. I'm happy for what I got out of it, which is I'm a better person now.
Yeah.
Selfish.
I love I don't think it's selfish or unselfish, to be honest with you. It's just it's a thing that I enjoy, is facilitating other people's success.
Yeah. No, I disagree. It's selfish. Perfect example.
Oh, that's fine.
July 3rd. I drove from my house to Mom and Carl's, past a kid having a lemonade stand, didn't stop, drove back home because I lost the contact, drove past the kid, didn't fucking stop. On my way back, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop and get lemonade from that kid. And I watched a video that morning of some dude who just went to a garage sale and bought a glass of lemonade and gave the kid $20 and said, here you go, because he was talking about a time where he had his own lemonade stand and somebody gave him like $10. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking do that. So I went, bought the kid's lemonade. It was just some Simply lemonade. He didn't even make it. It was just in a jug. He filled the cup, said it was $1. I gave him $5, said, here you go. He said, thank you. I didn't care that he felt good about it. I cared if I felt good about it. And deep down I did, because I just spent $5 on a glass of lemonade. I could have just bought the whole bottle from at Burcott's.
Yeah, you could have gotten 2 probably.
Yep. So Selfishness. But, isn't that what integrity is? Doing things without recognition?
I think so.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess maybe I got false integrity. I don't know. Holy shit. Okay, 30%. You want rapid fire these?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. I'll read. You are interested in so many things that you can find it difficult to choose what to try next. I disagree. I don't care to do much.
Oh, I strongly agree. I'm thinking about new grad school work, and I don't even know what field I want to do it in.
Oh, nice.
You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Yeah, very, very worried about that. I'm going 2 to the left.
I'm going 3 to the left. Very pessimistic. I assume that anything that's happening, anything good that's happening, eventually is going to fail.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I know we got to hurry, but it's interesting that you consider that pessimism because, to me, I think it's very optimistic to worry that things are going to take a turn for the worse because that means you can plan for it.
Well, I mean, we don't.
Which I think
really
is optimism.
First off, we don't really have to rush. We did an hour and 40-minute show yesterday. We got 40 minutes before we even hit that, so we're fine. We don't got to rush.
Yeah. That's
but anyways, I think I've said it before. And I say that a lot in this show too. I've said it before. Anyways, hope for the best, plan for the worst. Yes. And I get it. But the thing is, pessimistic is always expecting the negative outcome.
Yeah.
There's not been one thing outside this podcast in my life that has been consistent for longer than 4 years.
Mm.
I get laid off from jobs that I know that I do good in, that I'm enjoying doing. I get fired or laid off from. I get dumped in relationships that I think are going great, that I'm happy in and everything. Diets failed that I think are going well and everything. And all of a sudden, this shit happens. It puts me in a downward fucking spiral where it's just what's the point of trying to be fucking happy? What's the point in trying to fucking achieve? So it's one of those things where it's every time something great is happening, I know something is going to come up to fuck that up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not everything. Usually, if one thing's going good in my life, there's always going to be an opposite of something else. If work is going great, perfect example. When I was dating in 2018, when I dated Crystal, work was going great. She fucking dumped me.
Mm.
My relationship with Jenna was going great. I fucking got fired from work. There's never, and I know I've complained about this before too, even in prayer, which I hate complaining through prayer, my own personal prayer. But I sat there and I bitched like a fucking coward about how, it's like, why can't I ever get a break? Why can't I have the girlfriend and the job? Why can't my bills get paid on time without the worry of which one's going to be done? All this me bullshit. And and I get it. There's a small part of you that deserves to be, self-absorbed. You need to care about yourself. That's how you keep moving forward.
Right.
But it shouldn't always be about just you.
Right.
And that's something I know that I have to work on, that I have been working on, is that no matter how bad my life is, I know I'm not the worst off person in this, not even in this state, let alone this whole fucking world. There's places that people are way worse off than I am. And I just gotta realize that, just because I don't have that girlfriend right now, or my job isn't going well right now and everything, it's not the end of the fucking world. But I never hope for the best when those things happen. Like when I went on that fucking date, a month ago.
You almost got jumped?
Yeah, who knows if those guys were really mugging me? Maybe it was just weird, awkward fucking timing. But in my mind, it was like, here's a girl who fucking likes me. Here's a girl who's fucking talking with me. Who the fuck are these guys who happen to walk in at the same time? Who left at the same fucking time? Don't know. So, yeah, far to the left. To avoid leadership roles in group settings, I strongly disagree. I prefer to be a leader over a team player. I don't know if that's weird of me, but I like to take leadership role. I like to be at the front of the line, the head of the table, if you will.
Yeah, I'm going the second spot there, because like I have no problem ceding the leadership ground to somebody else if they want it more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't avoid it. If I avoided it, I wouldn't be a pastor.
True that.
You are definitely not an artistic type of person. No, I may not be a painting type of artistic, but I'm a creative. I'm a high functioning creative.
I got you. You know what? I'm gonna go disagree. I'm gonna go kind of disagree. Two to the right. No, I'm not painting or sculpting anything, but you know, I can make. I'm not bad at some woodworking. I can do some decent woodworking. I can do some refinishing of furniture and stuff like that. And when you look at the broad spectrum or the broad category of artistic, I think podcasting falls into that. And I mean, our track record doesn't lie. We've been, you know, we're fucking, you know, running towards a near decade of doing this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you definitely are a decade. I'm only at like 7 years, but yeah.
I'm coming up on it. Yeah.
Yeah. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings? How would you describe this to me? Because I think I'm confusing myself. How would you describe it to somebody who's dumb?
I guess the way that I would say it, the problem is the way that I want to phrase it makes it so that I strongly agree. But it would be like doing the logical thing or the data supported thing versus the gut feeling thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go two. I'm gonna go three to the left. I think people allow feelings to kind of affect them way too much, and especially in, you know, everything that's going on nowadays. Gun control, politics, racism, all this other shit, everything. I think people are just, you know, like they don't use the logic on. I don't think they use the logic as much as they should, based on like everything that's going on. And I think that's what causes more murders, is that people are just using more of like a past feeling or a past emotion rather than just realizing that, hey, regardless of what color we are, we're all just kind of people, just kind of live our own fucking lives.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go three to the left. All the way agree.
Yeah. Same. I think like, you know, if we just, so the example that I'm thinking of is, they keep testing universal basic income in all of these different cities or whatever, right? Where they're like, hey, we're going to give these people $1,000 a month every month for 6 months. We're going to see how it changes their lives. And across the board, it always improves everybody's lives and decreases crime. And it's like they keep doing it because they want to prove that poor people are bad because they feel that poor people are bad. And so they're just like, well, let's test it again in this other place. Let's test it again in this other place. Instead of just being like, hey, motherfuckers, the data is pretty damn clear that it helps everybody and decreases crime when everybody can afford basic stuff and isn't forced to go to work for a job they hate and bosses that suck. You know, I don't know. It's just like literally I try to be a data driven person. And if there's good data that makes a case for the way things should be, that's what I like to do, you know. Anyway.
No, it makes sense to me. It's like one of the things. I mean, like I hope people don't think that we live in a world where people are just like committing robberies for the fun of it.
Right.
Like, I mean, you know, like, I mean, obviously there are like, I know there are situations where people like, you know, like they'll rob a store for like an initiation into a gang, or, you know, they're just like kids who just have no like care in the fucking world. But when you get somebody who robs like a grocery store and they're not stealing money, they're stealing like bread and shit. It's, you know, or, you know, even fucking money, you know, cause they fucking got to turn the lights back on or the water back on and shit like that. Yeah. It's not that, you know, poor people are bad. They just dealt a bad hand that they have to, you know, adapt or die.
Right.
It's just, you know, you have to find ways to keep yourself moving, and anybody will do whatever it takes for the people that they love. So, yeah. Give me $1,000 a month. I bet my life would be a whole lot fucking better.
Right.
Your time.
You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Hard disagree.
Yep. Yeah, dishes will eventually get done.
Yep.
You enjoy watching people argue.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I somewhat disagree. I think it kind of makes me. Certain people in certain arguments are kind of funny to watch, like at work, but like a real argument at like a restaurant or something like that, it's just uncomfortable. So I'm gonna go 2 to the right on disagree.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I guess my definition of argue, it feels like watching people debate is what an argument is to me. Watching people fight, I don't like. It reminds me too much of being a kid.
Yeah.
So I'll go slightly. I'll go 1 to the left.
Okay.
You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. I wear bow ties, and I have a pair of pink glasses, and I have the haircut of either a Nazi or a lesbian. So I'm strongly disagreeing. I do not tend to avoid drawing attention to myself.
Gotcha. In certain situations, again, C2E2 prime example and stuff. Obviously, I want the attention, but for the most part, no. I like to be kind of left alone. I like to do my own little thing. So I'm going to go to all the way to the left on agree. That I just want to be there. If I could go walk into a bar, sit at a bar stool for a few hours, drink some beers, pay my tab, and leave, and no one ever knew I sat there, that's the dream.
Nice.
Yeah. Your mood could change very quickly. I'm gonna go somewhat agree. I think from content to angry, I could kind of ramp it up real quick if something was to happen. But from like happy to sad and shit, there's no violent mood swings. But I mean, I could go from, just being content to what the fuck pretty quick if something bad was to happen. I'm gonna go 1 to the left. I'll go 1 to agree.
Yeah, I'm going all the way to the left. Little things can ruin my day. Yeah. But also, like, the thing I always think about is, like, I inherited my temper from my mom. You know what I mean? Like, she is like a summer storm over Lake Michigan. It can happen at the turn of a dime. And that's exactly where I'm at. It is very easy for me to just suddenly rage. So I'm going strong agree.
Okay.
You lose patience with people who are not as efficient with you, or as efficient as you. I'm going middle of the road agree.
Okay. I'm going to go middle of the road disagree. I really don't care about how efficient other people are as long as it doesn't affect me.
Oh, fair.
If you want to be lazy, be lazy. I mean, it's not going to change my life in any way.
Gosh.
Now, if it affects my work life, or like it's going to drag my day out more, yeah, I'll be pissed. But I work in a job where 90% of it's self-reliant. I don't have to worry about anyone else. And the people I do work with, that other 10%, they get done fairly quickly. But yeah, no, it's just if you don't want to be efficient, hey, that's on you.
Yeah.
If you don't have that quality of life, that's going to affect you later on.
Yep.
I was going
to say, I think for me, it's that I assume that other people are as competent as I am, and when they're not, it makes me mad. That's all. That's all it comes down to.
So you're more pissed that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
100%. And I take it out of them. That's why I lose patience with them. It's not their fault. I'm working on it.
You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. You know what? I'm gonna go 1 to the left on agree. The only thing that I do at the last possible moment, which is like 80% late, is realizing that I never edited and scheduled a podcast to be released. Like, I don't know how many times I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta release that show. And instead of releasing it on a Tuesday like I planned, it ends up being Friday. So, as long as it's within the week, I think it counts, but still, to try to be consistent as possible on a daily basis, I try to release them like 5 a.m. on like a work day. So I think that's where people drive to work and listen to them a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I usually I got a doctor's appointment at 9 a.m. Okay, what's the latest I could possibly leave to get there and shit? And I still end up being like 5 minutes late because of a train or a traffic light or something.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to answer this question by saying that 2 weeks ago, I finished my sermon for the 10:30 service at 10:15. So I strongly agree. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. Shockingly, I slightly disagree. I've almost never had any interest in the question of what happens after death.
I'm gonna go somewhat agree. I'm gonna go one to the left. I don't think about it constantly, but there's always that one moment in my day where the idea of death does pop up, and it's just like I'm not afraid to die like I used to be. Like there's always this big fear of fucking dying, but it's one of the biggest things in the world that you can't control or change. Yeah. It's just when it happens, and it's not like I'm going to die and like pop up into. It's not like on TV where you pop up into this blackness and there's a light, and as long as you keep running away from it, there's hope you're gonna come back. Like you're done. Like, that's just life. But I would like to know. I mean, like you hear like, testimonies from people who've died for brief periods and they seen like a light and heard angels and harps and they were in clouds and saw God. But then you also see, you hear people say that, there was just nothing but total blackness, that there was nothing.
Yep.
That they like literally felt like they were dead for like a second, even though they were dead for like 5 minutes. So it's like,
yeah.
So it's like no one really knows because there's no one constant response to what happens after you die. Now, obviously, yeah, I would love for there to be a fucking heaven, and that's what religion is having the faith that there is something after death. So I'm gonna keep it optional. Is it realistic? Maybe not to people who want to think about it scientifically, but fuck it,
but like science can't answer it because we don't know. It's
exactly.
Scientifically, life ends at death, and there's no evidence that goes beyond that.
Sure.
But I'm not fascinated by it. I'm curious, I guess, but it's like I can't know. It's not possible for me to know.
No,
so it's just like here's what I hope for is I want to be able to make amends with the people that I've hurt. And I want the people who've hurt me to be able to make amends with me. But beyond that, like, my religion is more about, living well in this life than worrying about getting to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
enough
no
trouble for today.
Yeah. There's no research out there that you can sit down and read about post-death, life. There's nothing. There's ideas, there's thoughts, but there's no documented, there's no, reference to this, that, or the other thing. No research.
And it'd be unethical to experiment on it because you can't just kill people for experiments.
Yeah. Usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. You know what? I'm gonna go to the middle, right? I love my personal space, my downtime, my me time, but I also love doing this, talking with you on the podcasting stuff, going to the wrestling schools, going to the wrestling shows. Like, I still like doing things. So, like, not complete hermit, but when I'm by myself, I'm just like, oh, I got nothing to do. Good.
Yep. I'm going strong agree. I am so alone all the time. And I miss like, my favorite year of my life, I think, was exactly 10 years ago when I lived in an apartment with, it was a townhome with 4 bedrooms, and I lived with 3 of my best friends. And we had like people over all the time and parties almost every night. It was the best. And if I could live like that forever, it would be as close to heaven as possible for me.
Not Iowa?
Nope. Although, I mean, Iowa's not bad. I like the Field of Dreams. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. I disagree. I think the theory stuff is really interesting. Useless most of the time, but really interesting.
Yeah. I'll disagree. I'm only gonna go one to the right though. Arguments. The only time I ever lose interest in a discussion is when people won't respect your opinion. You know, like if I sit there and I listen to what you say, even if I don't agree with it, I'll listen to it. I'll respect for you. I'll allow you to talk. But if I in return get to try to say something and then you start interrupting me and stopping me, it's like, okay, well then this is useless because I said listen to everything you say and you won't give me 10 seconds to get my feelings out. So, theoretical I'm fine with, but yeah, it's more of people's temperament that kind of ruin the discussion.
Gotcha. Fair.
fucking dog hair. You find it easy to emphasize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. I'm gonna disagree slightly because if I don't know what somebody's going through, I wouldn't know how that would feel.
That's fair. That's a good point.
I don't think there's a lot. I don't think there's a lot that. I mean, if somebody goes through a death of a family member, I get that.
Yeah.
The simplest example I could think of at this very moment, actually just because I was talking to a buddy and a coworker of mine not too long ago, I was actually I forgot to, I should probably fill you in on shit that I want to do for this show. But there's these two people that I work with out of my job. One's a gay guy and one's a lesbian, and I wanted to get them on the show during the month of June for Pride Month to talk about their experiences growing up, in public schools and life and around family and stuff, being gay, keeping it quiet and stuff like that. Obviously we missed June, but we can still do it.
Yeah.
That is the best example of what I can think about right now for this question is that if somebody came up to me and was upset about, coming out or, not coming out and shit like that, I wouldn't know how to, I had no way of telling them what to do, because I don't have to go through that, So that's the best example I can think of. I mean, I can feel bad for you. Maybe that's what empathize is, but I can't completely sit there and understand what they're going through because I don't have to worry or fear or be afraid of what people are going to think, coming out, with a different sexual orientation.
Right. I think I went two to the left. I feel like I'm really good. I think I'm really good at trying to imagine other people's perspectives and what they've been through and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm perfect at it, but I think I can get close enough that I can be like, I think I can see where you're coming from and understand, And so that's like good enough for me. And
yeah, and I get that. It's like for example, a friend of mine was upset because I don't even need to give that example. When somebody says, "Hey, I'm sorry you lost your mom. I know what you're going through, but you never lost a parent."
Right.
You don't know what they're going through.
Right.
So you don't know the connection they had with their parent. I mean, that's the shit. That's how I look at this question. It's not about straight up empathy for me as far as this question is, I guess, kind of like, pointing at.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, I can feel bad for somebody. It's like, hey, you lost a family member. I get that. But I don't know the hurt that I would feel because I haven't lost my mom or dad yet.
Yeah.
So I can't sit there and tell somebody who just lost a parent saying, hey, I know what you're going through because I don't,
I used to have these terrible episodes of anxiety where my brain would literally daydream to me what it would be like if my parents died.
I've done that.
And so it's like, I think I know exactly how I would feel because unfortunately my brain has given me that.
There was a time, and I don't know if I ever told you this story, but there was a day that this had been like right at the beginning, I think like right when Mom and Carl got married. and Carl went in to get checked because he was having like breathing issues, and he had X-rays, and they were showing like these like growth there was like these black spots on his lungs.
Yep, I remember these.
And I think it ended up being something, but nothing like major. It's like it's not affecting his health in any way. His breathing obviously with an inhaler, but I remember being at school like in tears at like study hall.
Yeah.
I found out in a text because he just got like the X-ray results and shit like that. And I was like in tears, fucking school. And friends of me would come from me and shit like that. And it's just like, it's like, I get the feeling of like if he died, and I was just being a stepdad for like a year.
Yeah.
I've had, these weird feelings about like, like when I take my dad in to get a growth on his neck looked at.
Oof.
He had to get it removed. It was this fucking like maybe like probably like size of a kiwi. It was big.
Oh my god.
That ended up being a benign tumor and shit. It was on his lymph nodes and stuff like that. But it's just like, he's like going through all this shit like, listen, if something happens to me in surgery, which is pre-routine surgery, but whatever.
Right.
If anything happens, this is all the paperwork, this, that, the other thing, and I'm just seeing like the one thing that pissed me off the most about thinking to myself about like, because when my dad was going through surgery, I was already at Airtech. I already had a full-time job and shit. I was like, the one thing that pissed me off the most is I don't think I'd be pissed about the fact that like my dad died. Like my dad's, if he died, it's a part of life. Same thing with my mom.
Yeah.
I'd be upset if I lost them. But I think the thing that would piss me off the most is knowing that there's companies out there that dictate how many days you get off.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, death of a family member. So when they sit there and I tell them like, hey, my mom died, I'm gonna be off for a few days. Like, well, you do got 2 days of bereavement, so see you on Thursday. Yeah, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So I can sit there and I can feel bad for somebody who lost a parent, but I can't sit there and know what they're going through because I haven't experienced that in reality. But yeah, I've done what you have. Like, I mean, like, there's times where I'm at work and, like, I call my dad while I'm on break. He doesn't answer. It's like, fuck, why is he not answering his phone? Where the fuck is he and shit like that? And it's like, I think, worst part scenario, he fucking fell. No one's there to help him. And perfect example yesterday. God, I'm wasting so much time. We're going to have a long episode again this week. Yesterday, I was on the phone with my dad, 9:30, quarter to 10 o'clock at night. And also he's like, who's knocking at my door? I'm like, don't fucking answer that. Like, he's like, oh, nothing's gonna happen out here. It's like, bullshit. You're in a small town where things will happen. Because on the other side of that door, it's either gonna be some fucking meth head who just wants to fucking rob you, or it's gonna be some fucking punk-ass kid who's just getting into the swing of all the other monster things fucking going on in the world. It's just going to door and blasting away fucking people in a small town. Because, hey, it's the 4th of July weekend-ish week still, so people are still popping off fucking fireworks, no one's gonna know the fucking difference. It's like, no, you don't answer your fucking door when you're near 70 years old, living on your own in the middle of fucking nowhere. Hey, he did it anyways. I'm like, you're a jag-off, man. Anyways,
you usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. Unfortunately, I have to. I'm going to agree one to the left.
I'm the same. Agree one to the left. I probably should rush things a little bit more than I should, but well.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I never knew Ball Wash was fucking not sponsoring us anymore.
Right.
You rarely second guess the choices that you made. I'm gonna go 2 to the right. I always question if the choice I made was the right one or not.
Same. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. Oh, yes, please. I'm going 2 to the left.
I'm going to go 1 to the right. As much fun as it is going out and everything, my first thought is after a long, exhausting week is I just want some me time. But when I get past that, if I want to get hold of somebody, go grab a drink and stuff like that, I'll be okay with it. But my first thought of what I need is to take a nice warm shower, lay down in my bed, and just rest until I wake up. That's my first thought. But social events aren't that bad.
Yep. I think that's actually probably why I'm having such a hard time lately, like having the energy and emotional witness to actually care about stuff, is that I'm not doing this. And part of it is just like my wife is she doesn't like to go out. And so, she's like, we have a house. Why would I want to go anywhere? Which I totally understand. I'm not saying I don't understand it, but it's just like, I don't want to go out without her. And so I end up just staying home and being like, boy, do I wish I was like in the theater or at a play or out at the bar or whatever. But I don't need to spend that money. That's the other thing.
Well, we're going to be out next week on Carter Comic Money, so
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time.
We got a social life. We got to find a some kind of like Indianapolis like dive hole popular fucking place.
I'm in. Right? There's a couple of places I would recommend depending on where we stay, but
so I've never been to Indy.
I love Indy.
Is it just like Chicago, like city-wise? No? Is it more open?
It's much more open.
Okay, cool. Because all I kept thinking about was like, like realistically, we're gonna be driving through this fucking place. Like, if it's gonna be like driving around Chicago, it's gonna be fucking miserable. But I'm like, hopefully it's more like a Naperville-esque, Bolingbrook-esque kind of fucking.
Naperville and Bolingbrook are great examples of what I think Indy is like.
Awesome. We gotta try to find like some kind of like popular hole-in-the-wall fucking restaurant in Indy. Fucking A.
I'm down.
Right. This is honest to God. This is my first like going away vacation since our camping trip.
Oh damn.
Yeah. First vacation of the year, but this is the first time I'm actually on vacation and I'm going somewhere since our family vacation plus Colin camping trip.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this. Like, that's why I was like, I really want to get a fucking hotel because I really just want to like have like that moment of like, oh, I'm not crashing at a family member's house. Because Carl was like, hey, why don't you get a hold of Jake? He lives in India. I'm just like, I really want to lean more towards the hotel because it feels more like fucking vacation-esque. And that's why I want to look at getting the fucking rooms with the fucking hot tubs because God, that'd feel amazing.
Yeah, especially after driving around all day, sitting.
Yes.
Oh, it'll be the best.
You enjoy going to art museums. Okay, I'm going to go 2 to the right just because I've had fun at it, but like mentioned earlier, I can't sit there in front of a painting and talk about it for 20 minutes. 2 to the right.
Yeah, I'm going 3 to the left. I love art museums.
Oh, never mind. I'm going to go 3 to the left. I can enjoy it. I just won't enjoy it as much as everyone else. My bad. I agree. I do enjoy going to art museums. Yeah.
Yeah. You have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. To me, this goes back with the empathy thing. I disagree. I'm middle of the road disagree. I think there are some hard feelings that might be hard to understand, but for the most part, I think I understand feelings pretty well.
I'm going to go 3 to the left just because apparently I'm some kind of fucking monster that doesn't have feelings anymore. I don't fucking know. It goes back to the whole, like, like just accepting life for what it gives you. Like, oh yeah, it is what it is now. Like I told people, like, listen, like if you don't want to be my friend anymore, I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter to me. There's only a few amount of non-related people in my life that it would affect me if they didn't want to be in my life anymore. Other than that, what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm gonna go 2 to the left just because I don't understand. Like, there are certain things that people just get upset about that I don't understand why, and that's just my preference. Not saying that it's not important. It's just I don't understand it. So,
gotcha.
You like to have a to-do list for each day. Strongly disagree. I don't make lists for anything, not even shopping.
Yeah, I'm going just middle of the road disagree, but same. I hate to-do lists. They stress me out. You rarely feel insecure. I'm going 1 to the left. Most of the time, I don't feel. I feel pretty confident. Mm-hmm. There is every once in a while where my interpretation of the Bible, for example, or my way of living my faith is not always something that gels with a traditional view. And so I do sometimes feel insecure about, like, am I serving my congregation well in sharing my actual views here? Or like, how do I teach them, the way that they need to be taught? Like that kind of stuff is where I feel insecure.
Gotcha. Mine's more just a physical appearance thing. I have all the confidence in the world about who I am. I'm just not really great about what I am. So
I didn't even think about physical.
yeah,
Anyway,
I'm gonna go two to the right. No wait, I really feel insecure. No, yeah, I'm gonna go two to the right because I know I can look better, and I know that I have a lot more confidence when I do. Not if, but when.
yep.
But like I said, when I walking out of the house and seeing that Ring camera catcher the back of you, I'm just like, you fucking mop.
Mm,
So,
gotcha.
you avoid making phone calls. I do, but it's not my personal preference because no one talks on the phone anymore. So I'm gonna go one to the left just because it's not my choice. It's everyone else who lets the phone ring, goes to voicemail, and texts me back 2 minutes later. Hey, what's up?
Yep. I'm three to the left. I'm everyone else. I hate talking on the phone. I don't know what it is about it. I think part of it is I got so many phone calls from people for a long time where it was like, this could be a text message. Why are you calling me?
Like literally phone rings, hello. Click.
Right. Yeah. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I try to. So I'm going, two to the left, middle of the road, agree.
I'm gonna go one to the right, disagree, because I will understand other people's views as long as they're willing to explain them to me, but it's not often. It's how it's presented is what I'm willing to listen to.
Gotcha.
But I mean, like, as far as like I often spend a lot of time, no, I will give people like the time in that moment to explain their views just because it's a respect thing. But it's like, okay, like I'm just gonna listen to what you say, and I'm gonna take it for truth, unless it sounds way too far off, and then I'll fucking okay, now I gotta go fucking look at this and shit. But
Gotcha.
often, a lot of times, no. Sometime, yes. So, God, almost there. Thanks for those who are still hanging in with us. It must be a long car ride, or you're just really got no friends. Or you're just insomniac and you can't fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
Either way, thank you for listening. Thank you for holding out with us.
Mm-hmm.
In your social circle, you're often the one who contacts your friends and initiate activities. Yes, all the way to the left. Strongly agree. More times than not, I'm the one that says, "Hey, what are you doing on Thursday? Want to get something? Cool. Let me get a hold of so and so and see if they want to meet up with us and stuff." So yes, all the way to the left. Agree.
No. I'm one to the right here. I think I've always been, well, not always, but I've mostly always been the person who doesn't have the money to do things. And so, like, I don't want to volunteer other people to spend their money. And so I'm happy to be invited. I'll go along to anything, almost anything that somebody invites me to. But I'm not usually the one who initiates.
See, if you lived down here, why? If you would have just bought the church that's for sale here in town, started your own church, lived in Peatown,
Right?
you could hang out with me all the time.
I know.
I like how we're like the puzzle pieces for each other's lives.
I know.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Mm.
If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. No. Middle of the road, disagree. If my plans are interrupted, I move on to whatever my backup plan was, and if that's interrupted, then I'm just done. It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm gonna go middle of the road, disagree. Like, I mean, if something was to get interrupted, I'll see if it can be fixed. If it can't, then hey, we'll just reschedule or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. I'm gonna go slightly agree. I'm gonna go one to the left. Like, long time ago, no. Recently, yes.
Yeah.
I still, I don't put a lot of stock in shit that happened years ago. Man, if I only would have done this. Other than like maybe not eating an entire box of ho-hos. Yeah, there's a regret there. But it's just like, I'm more worried about what's happening right now in my life and not the shit that happened like 5, 10, 20, 15 years ago, whatever.
Yep. I'm also going one to the left. But it has to go with like the second guessing myself thing. It's like, well, So for example, the one that I've been thinking about most recently, the road not traveled, is if I had an opportunity to interview for a pastoral job in Kansas, which like I didn't want to move to Kansas, but I thought about it.
Yeah.
If I had taken that job, there's a decent chance that I would have moved up through the hierarchy in that particular denomination and become like a sort of right-hand person to the person who was in charge, like the bishop of the area. And that person is now the head of the whole church in that denomination. And so it's like thinking of the road not traveled. It's like, man, there's a decent chance that I could have been really deeply influential to this person, right now, if I had gone a different route, 4 or 5 years ago.
True. Oh yeah.
So, but I'm not sure it's a mistake. It's a thing that I think about. It's like, was that a mistake?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So,
gotcha.
You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Now, in this case, I strongly disagree. I am always contemplating these things.
I'm gonna two to the left agree. I rarely even think about why we're here. Just like, I don't want to find out something I don't need to find out. Like when people are like, oh, everyone's here for a reason, there's a purpose for everyone. Like, what the fuck happens if we do figure that out? Like, is the rest of the shit we do in our life meaningless? Like, if somebody walked up to you and said, I can tell you exactly why you're here right now.
Oh.
The biggest achievement of your life is this. Then what does that tell you about the rest of your life?
I don't know. That it was necessary for me to achieve that.
Yeah. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about like, this is my purpose. Nah, not really. No.
Yeah. No, I tend to think broadly, like what's the point of existing, as a society? Or why are human beings here? And I don't think there's a satisfying answer, but
the only reason we're here is so Earth can be better than Jupiter. That's it. That's the only thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Like God loved Jupiter. God loved Jupiter, but there's no life on Jupiter. He's like, you know what? Fuck Jupiter. I'm gonna make a better world over here, 3 doors down.
3 doors down. Nice.
Maybe it's a 2. I don't know how far. How far is Jupiter from us? It's like 3.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure.
God, good guess, Travis.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's if you go Earth, Mars, I think Jupiter's next.
Yeah, what was it? It's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter.
Jupiter, Saturn. My very fine. No, what is it? My very. I don't remember what it is. Erratic mother just ordered 9 pizzas or whatever. Just served us 9 pizzas. Something like that. And the pizzas is Pluto.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Fanny.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Fanny. What is that one?
The order in which you do math.
Ah, nice.
I think, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It is. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, gotcha. Is it mine? No, it's yours.
Yeah, your emotions control you more than you control them. I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna go 1 to left and disagree. Other than all out rage from the other day at work. No, fuck it. I'm gonna go 2 to the right because I was able to calm that down before it got out of hand. Yeah, I can control my emotions. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. I'm also 2 to the right. Even though my mood can change, how I express my mood is just, it's a function of how I feel like of doing my mood. If I'm by myself and I just want to rage, I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But like if I'm, I try not to raise my voice around my wife because there's something about a man yelling that freaks her out. And so I try not to do it.
Yeah.
Which I get. I'm a lot bigger than her. It'd be very scary to be yelled at by me, for someone her size. So.
Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Oh, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah. No, I said Fanny.
Oh, maybe that's why I was confused. Yeah, my brain went Sally when you said Fanny.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. I kept thinking to myself, like, Fanny doesn't sound fucking right. I was like, please excuse me, additions. Sally! Yeah, there we go. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that I wasn't listening to you this entire time. I heard what you said. And I'm glad that you don't yell around your wife. Especially because I'm assuming, and I haven't been to your house yet, but I'm assuming that you live in a neighborhood where these houses are pretty fucking close together. And the last thing you want to be is that angry pastor who yells at his wife.
Yeah.
Even if you're not yelling at her. Even if you're yelling at like the TV, and you're just like, what the fuck is your problem? I don't want someone to think like, oh God.
That's the thing I think about. I don't want people to think that either.
Like holy fuck, the pastor's getting angry over there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault. I strongly agree. I try not to make people look bad because I feel like it's the point of confrontation is to make the future better. So if you make somebody look bad, they're going to hold a grudge against you. I don't want them to hold a grudge. So what I want to do is solve the problem now so that we stop having the problem. And if you make people look bad, they're not going to solve the problem.
Gotcha.
We're going to get hung up on that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 2 to the right because especially like in a work scenario, if somebody at work screws up, I'm not going to be the one to fucking like point them out at work and to the boss. If it's something minor, something minuscule, like a data number's wrong or some shit, whatever, like it's not my place to go and fucking run off to the boss and all that shit. You know, like that's not it. But if it's just us, like the coworkers who mess with each other all the time, yeah, I'm going to give them shit the entire fucking time. I was like, oh yeah, you've been here 15 years, but you don't know how to put the information in the computer, huh? Stuff like that. Like, because they know it's a joke, because, you know, we all, you know, it's like, just like, just poking fun at each other and everything. But, yeah, when it comes to, like, making them look bad in front of, like, superiors, upper management, then no, I think people who do that are fucking horrible.
Yep.
Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. I'm going to strongly disagree. Just one to the right because, like I said, when I'm at work, I kind of just keep in my own little space. There's no burst of energy. There's no like, hey, let's get this shit done. Let's go. No, it's like it's slightly organized, but it's more of a consistent effort and just getting shit done, you know, with very, you know, acknowledgement of what I'm doing.
Yep. I'm 2 to the left on this one. When I wrote my thesis, this is my big example for work that takes a long time or whatever, that should have been an organized and consistent effort. If I had just written like 100 words a day, that thing would have been done so fast, I would have made my head spin. What ended up happening was I thought about it and read about it and worked on it in my mind for like 2 years and then wrote it in 5 days. And I wrote literally a chapter a day for 5 days and then I was done. You know, and it's just like those bursts of energy are more my jam. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. Middle of the road disagree. It's not something I really ever think about. I love when people think highly of me, but also it makes me feel very uncomfortable. I would actually be more uncomfortable if people were disappointed in me all the time.
Gotcha.
I know how to deal with that. I don't know how to deal with praise.
Okay, I'm gonna go middle of the road disagree because I really don't care what people think about me.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming that the people who are supposed to think highly of me, relationships, friendships, families, shit like that. But at the same time, like if people of that category started getting disappointed in me, yeah, it's just I gotta go disagree. Like I know I think I know I get pissed when I get disappointed in myself.
Right.
But I don't recall like a recent time where, you know, it affected me when people found disappointment in the shit I do. You know, it's just like, yeah. So I'll go middle road disagree. I know there's a little bit there where it bothers me, but I know it's not like a life-changing fucking bothersome, so. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. Boom! Agree all the way to the left. Just let me be. Let me get my shit done. There are times in my mind where people come up to me about shit. I'm like, for the love of God, just let me get my shit. Let me get in my fucking lane. Put me on the tracks. Let me head to the fucking tunnel and just be done with this shit. Like, if I'm just left alone, I do a better fucking job. All the way to the left, agree.
Yeah. I'm all the way to the right, disagree. It's like I keep saying with like COVID and stuff. I do not think that there is a single pastor on the planet who got into pastoring so that they could work from home and not see anybody ever.
That I agree with.
I hate being alone most of the time. It sucks. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. I'm going one to the right, disagree. I don't think it's a total waste of time, but I think it can be a waste of time. So I'm one to the right. I slightly disagree.
I'm gonna go on the opposite end. I'm gonna go one agree. Like, I'm sure it has its place in the world. For me, not too concerned about it.
Yeah, fair.
You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. I'm gonna go strongly disagree all the way to the right. Even though they are fun as a preference, or as what I'm drawn to, I will take a dive bar in the middle of fucking nowhere over a nightclub in Chicago. Every single time, no matter what.
I'm middle of the road agree, to the left. I love like a busy coffee shop or sitting downtown and watching people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the best. Just the busy bustling, like, yeah, things are happening. It's great. And I feel like quiet, intimate places, it's just too quiet. I just can't take it.
I gotcha.
At first glance how someone is feeling. I am middle of the road agree on this one too. But the one caveat is if I don't know a person, I might not know how they're feeling. But if I know people, if it's somebody who I feel like I know well, I can usually take a glance and be like, oh man, this person's having a really bad day. Yeah. So I feel like I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat with you. I'm going middle of the road agree. I kind of get no one really has a poker face anymore. Yeah. Kind of get an idea how people are feeling and shit. Other than like those like first introductions, meeting somebody for the first time, you kind of like you got to kind of feel them out, see how like their facial expressions are related to their emotions.
Yep.
But so when you know them for a while, you kind of get an idea like if they're not, if their lips are, like turned up in a different way or some shit, something's wrong. Like,
yeah, they're standing wrong or they're breathing weird. Yep.
All right, last group of questions, and then we got other things to do. What time are we at right now? Hour 48. Yeah, we could definitely. I could definitely split this into 2 episodes. We'll be fine. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna make the entire test its own fucking show, and then everything else will just be the other thing.
Perfect.
Because I'm pretty sure we started this at like 53 minutes, or now like maybe 40-something minutes. So yeah. So this is going to be epic. Okay. Listen, you often feel overwhelmed. I'm going to say I slightly agree. Not so much now as I was before, because bills are getting paid down and I'm I steady paycheck again, but there's still an overwhelming feeling that I just don't have that nest egg in case something major happens, like an air conditioner, water heater, shit like that. As soon as I get that nest egg, I think it'll be a lot better. But I am less overwhelmed now than I was before.
Nice. I'm putting myself one to the left on this one. I slightly agree. In that, like, what I'm overwhelmed by is, like, in my job, for example. Like, we got to grow to be able to continue to exist. And it's just like, it's not happening because everybody wants me to do everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, like, people don't, I do think that people sometimes come to churches because they like the pastor. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But if you want it to last beyond me, you guys have to do the work. you know?
Yeah.
And so like I'm a little overwhelmed by how much work there is to do and, how little time we have to do it.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. But you're right. You're the reason people come to church. How your service is dictates if they're going to come back.
Yeah.
But it has to be a group effort. People who are going to your church need to tell other people, "Hey, why don't you come to my church on Sunday with me? Try something different."
Come meet my new pastor, who's not my new pastor anymore because he's been here for 4 years. But
when I have the free time, out of the goodness of my heart, I'm going to do what I can to find a way to grow your church with you.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll send you a bill. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, we're gonna figure out a way. We're gonna grow your fucking church. We're gonna start getting some younger people in there because I assume a lot of your crowd may be pushing the other side of the hill.
Yep. Well, let me put it this way: my young people are in their 50s.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to look at finding people maybe our age, a little bit younger. I'm thinking youth groups. I mean, you already do the s'more thing, which is awesome. Yeah, we're gonna figure some shit out. I mean, there's probably some kids in that fucking neighborhood. We can figure something out.
Yeah.
The thing is too, your church is in a pretty decent neighborhood. It's not one of those crime-ridden fucking neighborhoods.
Nope.
There's a lot of lovely people in that area. We're gonna figure something out. I don't know what it is, but we'll do it.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Your turn.
You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. I would say by and large, if it's not a math problem, yes, I will do things methodically. I have a method and I follow it, and that's just how I am as a person. So I'm a 2 to the left on this one.
All right, I'm gonna go 1 to the left, because more times than not, steps are there for a reason. And if I'm following some kind of step on something, it may be something I'm not familiar with. So I think as I get more comfortable, this is going to be my only second time. I'm going to go right in the middle because I know there are times where I don't need that step. I know it's a useless fucking step, but there are times where hey, listen, let's get this fucking done. I'm going to go neutral on this one.
Nice.
You are very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. A little bit. I'm going to go 1 to the left. I do like hearing other people's perspective if it's done in a right way. If you talk to me about your side, listen. If you're yelling it at me, I'm out. But I don't know, controversial, getting two sides of each opinion or discussion, I'm okay with.
Nice. I'm also going 1 to the left. It'll be I'll be on Twitter or whatever, and I'll see something's trending, and I'll be like, oh, what's that about? And I'll go find out about it. But it's not like I seek it out. It's just I'm a little intrigued by that. What's going on? What are people talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta keep my finger on the pulse.
Nice.
You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. I am a middle of the road agree here. I feel like sometimes if something came up that was a perfect fit for me, I would probably pursue it and not pass it on to somebody else. But, I saw, for example, there was a scholarship, that was being advertised on Facebook for $25,000. Yeah. I'm not in school right now. I would love to be back in school. But I've got Rob Bass is going back to class, going back to school soon. So I sent it to him because he could use it more. It's just an essay, this is what I'm going to do with my life, basically thing. And you can get $25,000 for it if you win. So nice. Pass it on.
I'm going middle of the road disagree. I deserve fucking happiness too.
You do.
I get that. Like I said, I know I mentioned it before. I know there's a lot more people worse off than me. But you know what? If there was a situation, perfect example. If I apply for a job and I already have another job, yeah. Somebody who doesn't have a job apply for the same fucking job, and we both are good candidates for it. If I want to better my life, the idea of me saying listen, I already have a job, I'm gonna no, I'm sorry, I want to get out of the job. That's why I applied somewhere else.
Right.
So
right.
It's just I'm fine with helping other people, but I need to do for me too. I need to do for Travis as well.
Nice.
So, I don't think I'm going to come out looking good on this fucking personality test. You struggle with deadlines. I'm gonna go one to the left on I'm gonna go one to the right on disagree. Most of the time when I plan for shit that gets done, like I said, other than like maybe releasing these shows on time or getting some projects at work or at home done, yeah, I'm horrible at. But like the shit that's an absolute necessity for life, 100%, I make sure that I plan for it and get it done.
Yep. That's what I'm also one to the right disagree, because it's like, it's not that I struggle without deadlines. Like, give me a deadline and I will get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't have a deadline, like, what's the rush?
Yeah.
Why are you in such a hurry?
Yeah. Like, oh, can you get this done whenever you get a chance? Yeah, when do you get it done by? Yeah, whenever.
When I get a chance.
Yeah.
Don't give me the option.
All right, last one then.
You feel confident that things will work out for you. I'm a strong agree on this one.
I'm one to the right disagree. As much as I wish it will, like I said, I know there's something that's gonna fucking fall apart. I have yet to see any different. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, gotcha. Cool. You ready to see your results?
Yep.
Awesome. This is what we've been waiting for so fucking long. Okay. My personality type is I'm a virtuoso. What? How do you
virtuoso?
What the fuck is virtuoso?
I don't know in this context. When I think of a virtuoso, I think of somebody who's really good at playing an instrument.
Well, my little avatar has a bunch of tools on him, and he's closing one eye. I'm going to look that up. Virtuoso, so that's an ISTP-T. What about you, Joe?
I got a campaigner. The ENFP-T. I used to be, this is interesting, because I used to be an ENTP instead of an ENFP, which is it's an interesting change.
Gotcha. What'd you get percentage-wise for mind?
68% extroverted.
I'm 75% introverted.
Nice.
How about energy? I got 58% observant.
Nice. I got 76% intuitive.
Okay, what about nature?
66% feeling.
I got 54% thinking.
Nice.
I don't think anyone's ever thought that I got a high percentage of thought.
No, I'm thinking all the time.
Tactics, I got 67% prospecting.
Nice. I got 69% prospecting.
Okay, so we agree. So we got close on that one.
Yep.
This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. What about identity?
I got 53% turbulent.
How much?
53. All
right, I got 58% turbulent.
Nice.
So let's see here. This trait underpins all others, show how confident you are in our ability and decisions. I wish it would tell you who you're compatible with.
Right?
How is there not a compatibility? I bet it's in the premium profile.
It might be.
Well, joke's on you, fuckers. I'm just going to Google it later.
Right?
Anyways, all right. So that was fun.